This is the CHRILLCAST Live. I am Chris.
Will.
And I'm Andrew.
Welcome. There you go.
We just welcomed our 0 viewers total so far.
Yes.
We're streaming on Twitch today because Facebook didn't like us and didn't set up today for some reason. Or because Will just didn't select it when he set the
exactly
stream
what
up.
happened. It had nothing to do with...
One or the other.
I couldn't remember if we actually streamed the Facebook.
We do, yeah, every time. Anyways,
Okay.
That's fine. No big deal. But we should give Twitch some love every once in a while in case they decide to make us partners, in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way future, yes.
It also fits with the topics, so.
It really does. This is the perfect topic to cover on Twitch. So today we're going to start off with Happy Father's Day, everybody. It is Father's Day today when we're doing this live, and we're here to have fun. So we're going to talk about Amazon Prime Day, which will have more than 30 free games. We're going to discuss what the obstacles are to get at those 30 free games, and then also how we think of the list, whether it's a good list, a bad list, or neither, somewhere in between. So
obstacle number 1, be a Prime member.
Yes, you must have an Amazon Prime subscription to get any of these games. That is a fact.
I haven't had Prime in a while. I stopped using Prime in St. Louis because people just kept stealing my packages.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. You shouldn't have that problem where you live now.
No, but then I got so used to just buying my stuff. It's like, well, whatever, I don't need it anymore.
I actually eBay more than I Amazon for
I do.
Gaming stuff. But if I'm buying something that I need here tomorrow, I pretty much just let it go.
Yeah, I'm always using Amazon. So
let's get into this article. Let's start this thing off. Amazon is planning to offer more than 30 free games to Amazon Prime subscribers as part of its Prime Day festivities. This is going to occur on the 21st, so Tuesday, ahead of Prime Day. Amazon will make more than 25 games available to claim for free, including Metal Slug 2, 2 King of Fighters titles, etc., during the actual Prime Day event, which takes place July 12th and 13th. So this is 2 different dates. Remember, beginning 21st of June, and then Prime Day occurs on 12th and 13th of July. Amazon's going to offer some bigger titles. Perhaps the most notable is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is a remastered version of BioWare's acclaimed sci-fi RPG trilogy. For those that don't know what Mass Effect is at this point,
you bought that, right, Chris?
Yeah, I did. I don't know how you would
is
know
it
that.
worth it?
For the price it was, yeah, it's worth it for the price that it is. I probably shouldn't have bought it because I have all of the DLC for the original version of the game, and technically speaking, the original version, in my opinion, is superior if you have all the DLC already, because you can play it on your Xbox One with no issues whatsoever. You can play it on your Series X, no issues whatsoever. But this package, if you don't own the DLC, comes with all of the DLC minus one that we've talked about before.
Yep.
I would say it's worth it. But Amazon Prime subscribers will also be able to claim 2 racing games, including Grid Legends, Need for Speed Heat, as well as 3 Star Wars games: Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Star Wars Republic Commando.
This is only sort of related. So I randomly got $5 from Xbox yesterday. So they just gifted it to me and said, there are so many games. Here's some money to buy one. So I used it and I bought Dragon's Dogma because that was $5.
That's interesting. I wonder why they gave you $5.
I have no idea, but I took it.
So in addition to the free games, Amazon will also be offering their Luna controller for its Luna Cloud gaming services for $40, which is $30 off their usual $69.99 price. And that promotion will be available on June 21st at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until July 13th. And by the way, I have heard some really good reviews on the Luna controller, which, if you don't remember what that looks like, let me pull it up.
I do not remember what that looks like.
I remember people saying that the Google Stadia controller is pretty nice, but I've heard this one's way better.
But how does it compare to an actual console controller?
It's basically the Switch Pro controller.
Yeah, it looks like a Switch Pro.
Okay.
Identical.
So, yeah, it's basically the exact same controller. Even aesthetically, people have said it's the same controller. It just has more features available. So, I don't know if you want to put that one live on stream.
No.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay.
No, take it down. Take it down.
Oh, no.
All right.
See, okay, unpopular opinion maybe because you guys are you guys are Xbox fans. I hate the offset analog sticks.
Well, you've been Sony for your entire life, basically.
Yeah, and I hate the difference. with the analog sticks. I just hate it.
Well,
I honestly
you're
don't
just
even
a
feel a
hater.
difference.
Huh?
I don't feel a difference switching back between the controllers.
Fair
You
enough.
could be like me and like the Wii U, where you like the control sticks at the top.
Yeah,
Instead
I
of-
honestly love the Wii U gamepad. Every time I see a video where they're like, the gamepad was so terrible, it's like, yeah, it was a
I'm
bad
like-
idea, but I still love it. Like,
I love the gamepad too. It's one of my favorites.
You gotta like it because it was the transition for the Switch.
Yeah.
So
I like it, and I still have mine.
I will say, like, the Switch is obviously superior, but I prefer the feeling of the Wii U gamepad.
The ergonomics of the Wii U gamepad are far superior to the flat slate of the Nintendo Switch.
Chris, you know why though? You know why?
Because you can put a case on it.
No, because it was.
Because you have to slide it into the dock. No duh.
Well, no, it doesn't even have to. It could be more ergonomical and still slide in. It's just the issue at hand, right? Is the fact that the Wii U had to be a controller.
Yeah.
Like, it was designed to be a controller, whereas for the Switch, it's not. They're meant to go into the dock.
Game
for a
code.
controller.
Whoops. I typed in Wii U game code.
But like you know the attachment controller for the nunchucks on the Switch.
Well, I
It's
also like the Wii U Pro controller, by the way. This one with the dual sticks on top.
Yep, I have that too.
Wii U gamepad. I like
see,
both.
but like if you, Chris, do you use the controller for the Switch where you slide them into the
dog bone? Oh heck no, that's garbage. Are you serious?
You don't like that thing?
Are you kidding me? That is the
Yeah, I
worst
actually
way
like
to
it.
play the Switch. No, that is the worst way to play the Switch.
I
There's no
almost
worse
never
way.
play it docked, so
I actually like that controller setup.
No,
so.
I have if I'm gonna play the way when I'm playing with a controller, I have a Pro controller. I just use that. Like I am not going to put stuff into that crappy dog bone attachment and play that
Says
way.
the person who has an attachment for their PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, because you don't.
Yeah.
There's no other way to play the Vita. What's your point?
Because the Vita has
no.
a
Let's
fundamental flaw.
Let's fill this out, Andrew. If you can't play a different way, then yes, you're going to use the next best option. If you can, you're going to use that. Why on earth would you use the worst option?
It's not the worst option. It's
The dog bone controller weird thing is the worst option.
I don't know. I actually like the form factor.
I do
playing
like
with just the Joy-Cons like separated is the worst, Chris.
Yeah,
I like Disney's
especially when you're playing with the
running out
Joy-Con
of,
with the
specific
Joy-Cons as a
materials and
singular.
had to use his girlfriend's Wii U gamepad with the wings. I'm not putting that up on screen, but I enjoy it.
No.
Okay. All right. Back to the thing here. So let's look at the more than 30 free games. I think they have a list of them here, and we're just gonna kind of roll through them.
Let's do it.
Roll on
Let's
through.
see.
Please tell me they have a list because that's what I want to see. Where's the list? Where's the list?
Where are they?
Oh my gosh. You would think somebody would have a list somewhere.
You just have to Google it.
You Googly. It's a you Googly. Anybody watch Zoolander instead of the eulogy? It's a you Googly.
I haven't seen Zoolander in so long.
Right.
I never saw a second one.
Where
It
on
looked
earth is
funny
this?
too, but I didn't see it either.
Oh, I love Zoolander. Zoolander 1 is great. I'm not sure about Zoolander 2, but Zoolander 1 is great.
Was there not a list
Where
in that first
is-
thing?
No, it just said a few of the games. Yeah, I don't see it. Where's the list? Okay, let me go to new tab. List of free games for Amazon Prime Day. Let's find out.
Maybe they have not announced them yet, and this was a bad idea to rank them.
Oh, here we go. Every free game you can claim on Amazon Prime Day. Game Ranch
Okay,
got it.
good.
Okay, Grid Legends. Grid Legends is the fifth. Oh, this is the racing game. Grid Legends is the fifth installment of the Grid Racing game franchise and is the first by Codemasters since being purchased by EA. Oh, it's bought by EA. The studio's done. The self-proclaimed authentic motorsport game has had a rough start on Steam. What is that noise?
It's the faucet.
Oh, okay. self-proclaimed authentic motorsport game, has had a rough start on Steam, but it would be interesting to see how downloads start to pick up, since the game will be absolutely free during Prime Day. We got Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which we already discussed. This is a great idea. It's free, has all the DLC, and if you can manage to grab a copy, get it. Get it. Need for Speed Heat. Players will put their... Yeah, EA owning them, though, is not a good thing for you, Jisnoof, because who knows how long EA will let that studio fly.
I think they just recently bought them, too, like the last couple of years.
I'm just saying, Star Wars 1313, anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also,
EA,
this was really well reviewed. Heat.
Chris, Star Wars 1313 is not EA's fault.
I know it's more LucasArts and Disney's, but they didn't have to kill off the studio that was making it.
I mean, that was
We just list the other ones. Pandemic, Visceral.
Well, Visceral was 1313.
Well, they killed the studios.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They killed the studio that was making 1313 because they spent a lot of money on building that game, and then LucasArts and Disney killed it. So there's that. All right.
I mean, EA just has a terrible track record with studios in general. So
I think in a decade from now, we'll be saying the same thing about Microsoft with other acquisitions. But that's a whole different conversation. All right. Need for Speed Heat. Players will put their race car driving skills to the test. I've heard a lot of good things.
These have always been fun.
Huh?
The Need for Speed games when you're like...
It's not what I thought you said. It's not what I thought you said.
Oh, the Need for Speed games have always been fun, though.
Yeah, but Most Wanted 2005 is the only one worth playing. So, I might get...
I've heard really good things about this one, too, though.
I've heard good things about it. They never inserted, microtransactions into this game, from what I understand. And it never went above $40 on Xbox. So, I think it's worth getting for free, especially.
Did they just do a deal with EA? Is Amazon going to buy EA?
That would be hilarious and awesome. But also,
because they are shopping. They're shopping themselves these days.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. 3 Star Wars titles. That's the Star Wars Jedi Knight, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2.
I don't know how many times I can buy these games. So I get them for free.
Fair enough. All right. So now we're into other stuff here. 10-Second Ninja X. I've never heard of this game.
Wait,
controlling a ninja has been captured. Yep. Controlling a ninja has been captured by Captain Greatbeard. Players have to free their animal friends that have been trapped in robots by the captain in under 10 seconds with over 100. My goodness, what is this game? I think I'm less interested in it now. But these are all free. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 Doors, Aram's Afterlife Adventure. It looks like old school art style.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Heavily influenced by Korean culture and folklore. My cousin would probably like this then. Control the titular Aram, who has ventured into the afterlife to rescue her father's soul, having to go through the 8 doors of purgatory.
That's kind of a neat concept. So
I like the story. Don't know how if I'd play that or not. We'll see.
Wonder how long the game is. That would be...
Well, I mean, these are free, so who cares how long the game is?
That's fair. No, I mean, with it being long, if it's not that long of a game, it's like no reason.
It's almost
not
more.
To
I actually almost would rather play short games at this point in my life.
Well, when you have that many options for free, it's like you get to see more if you get that short game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Addling Adventures, and just to be clear, all of these games are going to get some crazy amount of stream time on Twitch on the day they become available. Like, people are going to be streaming these like crazy. Like, Amazon is basically creating a market for watching these games. So these games are going to have huge benefits for being available for free on Prime Day. Like, what Amazon is doing is, like, with these indie devs, they're giving them a platform to show off what they've done, which is pretty cool. Like, I will give Amazon credit for that. Addling Adventures is one of 3 games on this list that is published by Legacy Games. It's a point-and-click game that follows paranormal detective as he ventures into mysterious woods inhabited by animals with glowing eyes, the underworld, or a miniature magical realm in this 3-pack adventure. I want to see the...
Sounds interesting.
I want to see the mysterious woods and the glowing eyes in the underworld. Interesting. Bang Bang Racing? What? There you go, Jisnoof. All right, let's see here. A great arcade-style racing game that puts emphasis, on technical driving skills. Bang Bang Racing is another indie title that will be available for free on Prime Day.
I'm excited for the next one.
The game Clouds and Sheep. Jeez. It's an homage to top-down racing. Oh, so it's like the old school RC car games.
Yep.
Okay. That'd be okay.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
I never played those games. I don't really care about like the old school top-down RC
But
car
with
racers.
that art style, just based off of that right there, it looks like it would be a neat game.
Andrew's excited, clearly.
No, I mean, it just looks like it would be neat, like to play with friends more so.
Okay.
Kind of as like a drinking game. Not gonna lie, that's where I'm thinking.
You know what I've always wanted, and I've never seen a game of it, at least not since like the PS2 era, is like that robot death match. Remember when you used to be able to build your own robots and like fight them in an arena on TV?
Yeah.
Dude, I so want that game to come back, like and like be a legit game. Like Rocket League is already the actual platform. Well,
why not do
because
the
that's
actual
expensive.
death
I can buy a
robots?
$60 game and do fake robots and play it that way.
That's fair. That's fair.
Clouds and Sheep 2, not with the first one. Clouds and Sheep 2 will. So you're already one game out. You've missed all of the story.
Right. Which
So
this might make people want to play number one.
Farm Animal Simulator meets RPG.
What?
Clouds and Sheep 2 is a sequel title where players must complete quests as they collect sheep for their farm. Players must also fulfill the needs of their woolly creatures by providing them with food, toys, and other comforts. Okay,
what toy does a sheep need?
I know. I was like, what toys do sheep play with? I got you, Catan. Yes, I can collect sheep. Okay.
This is clearly, like you said, Catan. This is clearly the one person who could only get sheep, and I was like, screw it, I'm making a game. This is how I win.
Yes. Speaking of games that are hard to win, on The Witcher 2, how many times do you lose at dice trying to win all those stupid dice side quests?
Oh, I didn't play those.
There's like so many like story-driven things in that game that literally, if you don't win the dice games, it's like you might as well not even play that part of the game. All right, let's keep going. Death Squared. Death Squared is a fun co-op puzzle game that emphasizes cooperation and communication. Up to 4. Well, there you go. This game's already out. Will and I have no communication skills. No, I'm just kidding. Up to 4 need to work together to solve puzzles, all the while avoiding exploding robots that are scattered across the screen.
Interesting.
No idea.
There's a lot of games I've never heard of.
Fatal Fury. It's Fatal Fury, guys. Oh, on smartphones? What is this? No, they just probably grabbed the wrong trailer. Okay, so this is gonna be on PC.
Right.
All right, Gianna Sisters. This is like a throwback to like old school Mario stuff, I think.
I mean, that's kind of. I mean, it has cool art style. So.
Because it was on DS hardcore. It's a hardcore platform. Yep. So it's basically like the old school. It's meant to be like a homage to old school RPGs, platformers. So it looked like it was fun, and I've never actually played it, but I've heard it's good.
Okay.
Gone Viral, the over-the-top roguelite game, Gone Viral, will also be available for free during this year's Prime Day celebrations. Players must fight for their life in a prison arena against various enemies, satisfy a bloodthirsty audience, and create the opportunity to escape. I just don't like roguelites, like personally.
Yeah, I'm not haven't gotten into it yet, but that might change.
It's a genre that I just can't get in for the same reason that I don't like Terraria or like Minecraft past a certain point, because I just feel like anything that's randomly generated, most of the time, I just don't want to touch it.
Right.
This game looks cool, by the way.
Hue.
I saw it on Game Pass.
Originally released in 2016, Hue is a colorful platformer published by. See, I like platformers a lot.
Can you play the trailer in this?
Maybe. Let's see.
Yeah.
This is a good one to see.
Let me know if it's like stuttering like crazy or not. How bad is it? Like PowerPoint practically or not?
No, it's kind of good.
Okay, sometimes it PowerPoints on me when I try to stream trailers like that.
So you change the color as you're going along to
erase things.
Okay, that's neat.
Yeah, not just erase, but also make things visible. It's really neat.
This looks like another game that was actually a Kinect-based game called Fru. And the biggest difference was your body was part of the screen. It's like when you would try to guide your platformer across the screen, you'd be holding your controller, and you have to move your arms to like create platforms for your character to walk across. So you'd like hold it with one hand and like move your arm up to get the guy up to the next platform. It was pretty neat. This is kind of a different take on that same idea. Pretty cool. I mean, I would probably play it.
Yeah.
Manual Samuel.
What is this? All I know is that's a
It's the most
fantastic
ridiculous thumbnail I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, hilarious adventure game. Manual Samuel requires players to manually control the titular protagonist Samuel limb by limb. Spoiled rich kid Sam makes a deal with death when he finds himself in hell after a fatal accident, but under the condition that he must survive 24 hours performing all bodily functions manually, breathing, blinking, walking, everything.
Oh gosh.
This is like Octodaddy, but not quite.
Okay, that sounds weird as shit though.
Yeah, I'm not playing that one.
I wouldn't play that.
Metal Slug too. I mean, Metal
too.
Slug's just a good series. Like, no doubt, this is one you want to get. Anybody have anything else to say about Metal Slug?
Nope.
No.
Metal Unit. Metal Unit puts players through a pixel art, side-scrolling roguelite. Oh, I'm already out. Roguelite. A mecha versus monster world. Game story follows soldier protagonist Joanna, who is on a mission to capture her sister, deemed a traitor, as the latter has sided with the enemy aliens. They picked the wrong BMX game. Where's BMX XXX? No, I'm just kidding. Pumped BMX Pro.
Okay.
For those in the mood for pulling off sick BMX tricks, Pumped BMX Pro is another title that will be available on Prime Day for free. A past day one release on Game Pass, players will be able to master 60 levels featuring over 200 challenges to test their abilities to pull off radical stunts. They should be paying us to play something. Oh man, that's funny. I wonder if they just like ask which devs would be willing to put their game up, because this is going to be free advertising. Even if
I mean,
nobody
a lot of this, like,
at this point,
I think they're trying to hit a range of or age range. So like, a lot of kid games.
Puzzle of the year
10-pack. Like,
okay,
I'm not even
really
going to read this one.
That.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Puzzles.
Rain. Like, I like puzzle games, but I don't need them on my Switch or my PC. I just play them on my phone. All right, Rain World. This almost looks like it's trying to be a more cartoony Ori.
Yeah.
With its screenshot here, but let's see what it says. Play as Slug Cat and climb and sneak and pounce through an ever-changing world in the survival platformer Rain World. The game features a vast world with over 1,600 rooms spanning 12 biomes, each with its own unique set of enemies. It also has some of the best indie game cover art that players can appreciate.
All right, you're going to have to hit play. I want to see if this
Yeah.
Watch, it's going to be like really bad.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not bad looking.
Yeah, but 1,200 rooms, I'm intimidated. Or 1,600 rooms, I'm intimidated. Yeah. No way.
How is it just randomly generated then at this point?
Yeah, nope.
But it looks interesting though.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ever-changing world, so it is technically, it's not roguelite, but it is changing. So maybe like the scenery and like the elements and the enemies change. I don't know. It's a pretty looking game.
It's kind of like Shovel.
Oh my gosh, that alligator just ate him.
If you're a Shovel Knight,
you know what,
you're probably a fan of this.
No, this is like if you mixed Patapon with Ori and the Blind Forest, because the art looks more like Patapon. Remember Patapon?
No.
It was a rhythm game on the PSP. It had like the more cell shaded, simplistic art, and then it's more like Ori because more of that kind of platformer. So it's like simplistic but detailed art, but it's plays more like Ori. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I would probably play this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably play it on the Switch, not on my PC.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. You make a valid point.
Yep.
I wouldn't want this on PC.
Yeah, no, I played on the Switch.
Now I'm gonna have to see how expensive.
Oh, Adult Swim games, interesting.
Road Trip 3-pack. Final Legacy Games title on this list is the hidden object finding game Road Trip 3-pack. Games take players through America and Europe as they need to find various objects hidden within famous landscapes like Mount Rushmore, the ancient ruins of Rome. So this is Encarta meets Where's Waldo.
This is for people who couldn't travel during COVID. There you go.
Samurai Showdown, spelled wrong, is yet another SNK fighting classic that will be available for free on Prime Day, and its reputation still holds today. So this is like an old school game they've upgraded to new school hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Serial Cleaner. What on earth is this? What the? Wait, this is too realistic for Will. He can't do this one.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm joking, but I'm also not joking. Like, Will has seen actual crime scenes in his life.
Mm-hmm. I've had to clean them up.
Yeah, not something Will wants to do, especially not with actual bodies there.
Get paid a lot.
That does pay pretty well. Nobody wants to do it. That's why it pays pretty well.
I looked it up once. You can make hella bank if you clean up crime scenes.
Yeah, but if you want to do that, like,
well, actually, okay. Little mini tangent here. If you without a college degree, being like a professional cleaner, if you go and get
professional cleaner,
literally, okay. If you go and get the certificates to be able to clean up certain things, like someone was found dead in their apartment, and it was like a month later because they have no friends. Okay, it's a mess. If you're the person they call to clean that, because that's like you're like highly certified to clean up some crazy stuff, you're easily making over $100K every year, just without any college degree. You just go through all those certificates. It's actually very lucrative.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, my brother actually runs a company, and we do this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Super lucrative.
What comes out of the human body should definitely stay in there.
Yes.
That's what she said.
The chat right now.
Watch The Cleaner with Samuel L. Jackson. There you go. Okay. Set in 1970s America, Serial Cleaner is a story-driven action indie game with high emphasis on stealth, where players take the role of a professional criminal cleaner. So that's what I'm saying. You're on the wrong side of the cleaning.
Hey, you make more money this way.
Probably way more money. Okay. Gameplay requires players to clean up murder scenes by disposing bodies, cleaning up bloodstains, and hiding any piece of evidence that could incriminate their employers. This would be kind of an interesting one, but at the same time, I don't think I'd want to touch this game.
Hey, Will, this could be your practice run.
The FBI is calling. They want to know why you're playing this game. All right, let's see here. The Crow's Eye. Okay, cartoony. I get the Illuminati cartoony vibes here. Look at that eye behind him. All right, fans of psychological horror may want to consider picking up the well-reviewed The Crow's Eye. Oh my goodness, The Crow's Eye. The italics messed me up. When it becomes free during Prime Day, The Crow's, oh my gosh, that italicized
You
W
just said it.
messing me up. The Crow's Eye is a first-person puzzle adventure that takes its players through an abandoned medical university.
See, I'm not a huge psychological
Well, what I'm going to
fan.
say the wrong thing here. Okay, let's see. As soon as you start the game, here you go. Well, as soon as you start that last game, the police are going to knock on your door. They're like, what are you trying to learn here, huh?
Yeah, it's like the Catch a Predator type thing. It's like, what are you doing here?
Oh my gosh.
You need that meme where which actor? There's like, it's bait.
All right, Dark Side Detective series. Prime Game will also be making two point and click detective games. The Dark Side Detective and the Dark Side Detective: A Fumble in the Dark, available for free during Prime Day. Players must solve otherworldly mysteries as Detective Francis McQueen, head of the Twin Lakes PD's its severely underfunded Dark Side division, and is a must-play for fans of point-and-click adventures. Okay, I have to know, though, is the Twin Lakes a shout-out to Twin Peaks?
No,
I'll figure it out later. I'm curious now.
I mean, it says something about... Hold on. Yeah, otherworldly. It has to be a reference.
Twin Peaks reference. It has to, like, no doubt. King of Fighters 2000 and 2002. Like, that wasn't 22 years ago.
This is the game for someone who has an anime mouse pad.
No, King of Fighters is for more than just that, but it is a limited niche. It is a limited niche. Like, I will admit, it's mostly for fighter game fans. But I mean, it is an old game. It's from 2000 and 2002.
I'm just going off the art style.
It is very anime, but it is a fighting game, and lots of fighting games are anime based.
That's fair.
Metronomicon. Slay the dance floor. What?
What? How is this a PC game?
Fans of rhythm-based RPGs should take the opportunity to grab the Metronomicon. Holy cow. Slay the dance floor during Prime Day. Players must fight their way through party-crashing monsters to the beat of a variety of original tracks either on their own or with up to 3 other players. You know what I'm seeing is a lot of co-op games we should try to see how bad they are and play on stream. That's what I'm seeing.
Fair enough.
All right, so that's it. That's the games.
Oh, well, this kind of sucked, guys. I was expecting a lot more.
They only had like 2 major titles.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they're giving them away for free, and you're not paying anything above your normal Prime subscription.
That's fair, but there's a lot of old games out
Yeah,
there.
it was like if you give away a pile of dog crap, I still don't want it. Just because I didn't pay for it.
Are you really getting them for free, though? I mean, you do pay for Prime, and it's just Amazon claiming that this is part of your perks.
So is Prime Gaming separate from Amazon Prime?
I have no idea.
Let's find out. Is that the Luna streaming service?
Maybe.
Because if it is, then I'm not getting any of these games. Let's find out. Google.com. Just for Andrew's sake, I keep going to Google.com.
You're using the Brave browser. You can just search in the browser.
Prime Gaming subscription. Let's find out. Okay, gaming.amazon.com. You know what? Just in case, I don't want my actual credentials coming up. In case they are there. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it is extra money. So every month, get exclusive in-game loot, free games, and a free subscription on Twitch TV, plus everything included with Amazon Prime.
How much? How much does it cost?
I'm finding out. Hold on. I'm getting there. Is it included with my subscription? I don't know. Am I logged in? I am logged in. Let's see here. I don't know. I think I already have Prime, though. Like, so do I have... I don't know. I don't know. This is weird. I don't know if let me see if it's included. Google. Is Prime Gaming included with Amazon Prime? There we go. What is Amazon Prime? That's what we want to know.
It seems like it is included in your Prime membership. It says get free games and in-game loot every month. Benefits are included free with your Amazon Prime membership.
Yes, you're right. Prime Gaming does include free games every month. Okay, so yes, it is included with a normal Amazon Prime subscription. Okay, good. We've cleared that up. There is no difference.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. So let's rank this. What do you give Amazon Prime's free games on a scale of 0 to 10?
You go first, Will.
Sorry, I'm trying to mute myself. I give it a 4, and it's only because you have the 2 games that are actually interesting to me.
Right.
Okay. Mine's a little bit nuanced.
Okay, of course it is. This is actually the state of gaming in general.
It's nuanced in the sense that, okay, my question mark here is what is their intent overall? Because if they're trying to be friendly to indie game developers to try to draw them to be more active on their service, then I think I would give it a higher ranking. But like as a gamer, it's not interesting to me. So
Okay,
I guess it's a question of what's their intent.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking is coming. All right. Here's what I think is going on with this. Amazon is trying to float indie devs over to producing for Amazon's own services. They're doing this with incentives through Amazon Prime Day to get some of the mid to high tier indie devs on board with whatever Amazon wants to do. And this is just a preliminary thing with that. Probably paying them decent money, but they're also getting big titles on there because most of the people that are going to take advantage of this are not your casual gamers.
Right.
So
some of those indie titles though were really interesting.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like mid to high tier indie devs.
Yeah. And
so I give it a like 8 out of 10. I would say
I'm gonna go with a 6.5 because I just don't know the intent. It's either really good, like what you're saying, or it's what Will's saying. So I'm just gonna split it down the middle because of that.
The intent was they're just giving a couple extra free games. I didn't think about it. The intent of this article was to make you think it was actually worth looking at. so they can get clicks.
No, I think they have.
No.
I
Okay,
think it's
stop.
good publicity for
Okay,
as a Prime Day thing.
Okay,
but I think what
guys,
Chris is saying is
you know
right.
what's coming. You know what's coming. So Amazon launched Luna. Luna is essentially
Yes.
Amazon streaming games to your Amazon devices, your Amazon Kindle, your Amazon streaming sticks, your Amazon Fire TV, and the Amazon app. I'm sure they have a Prime gaming app to stream to. End goal of this is that Amazon wants to have some kind of dedicated handheld, I think.
I see what you're saying. I think you gotta take it a step further too, and maybe
There's going to be a Kindle gaming tablet with actual controllers.
Maybe they're trying to take it down the road of leveraging Twitch the way that Google Stadia should have leveraged YouTube.
That was the dumbest move ever, not leveraging YouTube.
Yeah, and I think maybe Amazon's trying to do this whole gamer creator, gamer developer, creator combination thing where Twitch is like free advertisement to a lot of indie games, and it tries to pull in those creators and tries to be like an organic incubator of sorts.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think Twitch is going to give, Amazon's going to give creators the tools, but also individual people that own Amazon Prime subscriptions, the tools to both stream games that people want to watch via Twitch, via Luna, and also in order to get new games on their platform, they're going to encourage indie devs the same way Game Pass does with huge incentives and payoffs, right? But I think long-term goal is to have some kind of a device that Amazon produces that a lot of creators and players both use, whether it's an app, a device, or just sticking with Amazon Kindle and streaming sticks with controllers, whatever it is. I think that's the end goal, is to have Amazon be like an all-inclusive Game Pass style streaming service.
Maybe
they're playing the long game. They're playing the long game here.
Yeah, maybe this is why Amazon hasn't had a major acquisition yet with a game developer, because
they're not ready.
Huh?
They're not ready. That's why.
No. Maybe they're trying to do the YouTube model. YouTube didn't become successful by getting cable networks to go and do their stuff on.
That's true.
They went for indie creators, basically.
That's a good point.
So maybe Amazon's trying to follow that model with game developers, trying to be like, well, we'll pay you so much for like this month to be free on Prime. We'll make it where people are incentivized to highlight you on Twitch doing game playthroughs and stuff. It's massive advertisement, and just going down that road.
I didn't even think about that, Andrew. You're totally right about that. I mean, look at how Steam built their business model. They started out with just their own games, and they added like indie and AA studios, and then eventually the AAAs had to come over because that was the only way to really sell games on PC. And then Steam eventually built up such a massive catalog that Microsoft even was forced to put their games on Steam.
Yep.
And they're trying to leverage network effects. And
it's the same way YouTube wound up with Fox and CNN and NBC and all the big major TV companies are on YouTube now, at least with clips at the very least.
Right. And given the monetization aspects, maybe more people are wanting to be on Twitch long term.
And leveraging Let's Players on Twitch to play indie games to incentivize people to buy them by advertising, by playing them, is a huge lucrative way for indie devs to make their money back off this.
Especially since Twitch is usually pretty integrated, with the gameplay at this point. So it's like it'd be like just seamless. You're playing the game and streaming it. I think that's probably pretty solid strategy over there. Yeah. So I'm gonna go up to a 7.5 because I'm convincing myself that there's actually a strategy here.
I'm still going to stay at a 4 because I don't care.
I'm sticking with my 8. I'm sticking with my 8 for the same reason, Andrew. And I think we've convinced ourselves that they have a strategy here, long term.
The indie titles were solid. They had some solid
they also had some garbage mobile to PC converted games too.
Yeah. True, but the actual indie games were something that I think were solid choices.
And they had a wide variety, and there wasn't like all one developer.
Right.
It's a 0 for me.
It's interesting though that they did get the EA titles for the.
Well, I mean, who else are going to get? Activision's with Microsoft. They're not going to get Halo.
Ubisoft.
That's not going to happen. You could have got Ubisoft, but Ubisoft might be in talks to get bought right now. Who knows?
I mean, that's the thing. Ubisoft and EA are both shopping themselves around.
That is kind of weird to think that two of the biggest developers.
That's still the strangest thing to me that both of them. I didn't think EA. Well, okay, I don't think EA will be purchased because I think
too much money.
Well, I think they evaluate themselves way too high.
Yeah.
So, I think Ubisoft is a little bit more realistic since their only quality game these days is Assassin's Creed.
Well, to be fair, I think EA, if they could, would just be EA Sports, and they would dump everything else.
You think so?
As a business model, they make so much money off of EA Sports, and they have the very little. Like, there's so little amount of things they have to do.
Yeah.
Think about how easy that dev cycle probably is.
I mean, it's
the hardest
yearly.
part is the
they
contracts.
make money yearly.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part of the EA Sports titles is getting and keeping the contracts with the sports leagues they're partner with.
Which, by the way, they're starting to lose out a little bit in with FIFA.
Yeah, FIFA's the first one to drop. They asked for too much money.
Yeah, but I think they were okay with it because they finally got college football back.
Oh, did they? Okay, I did not hear that.
Which means they'll also get college basketball. They're just going to be going down this road of college sports, which Americans care way more about. That's such
nowadays
a
for sure.
Yeah, so I think they're just viewing it as they'll be able to sell 2 football games, and at least 1 basketball game,
right?
Because I mean, I think college basketball is better than the NBA. So
I think it's more even on a consistent basis, and you could always have anybody come up. But
okay,
I think personally though, if you think about it, where's most of EA's money coming from? It's not Battlefield. They lose a lot of money on the development cycle of Battlefield. Right. They lose like nothing on the development cycle of EA Sports.
Well,
because it's the same game. Yeah, it's the same game from 15 years ago.
And they've monetized it like crazy.
In fairness, though, Battlefield has been the one that like expands the frontier on their game engine.
Frostbite.
So Frostbite is what got that's what all of the sports games transitioned to. So
I'm just saying, like, if EA could cut all the dead weight, like if they could sell BioWare to like Microsoft and trim down,
I would not mind that.
They would probably be happy to sell chunks of EA off if they could.
I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't take. I feel like they would stop being able to take themselves as seriously as a game.
I'm not talking about the developers. I'm talking about the business people in charge. I don't think the developers would like to sell any chunks off. I think they'd be very happy to keep the whole thing together.
I don't know. I feel like that just makes themselves very fragile. Because sports games, you don't need to buy a sports game every year. People buy it because they want to.
You pointed out the exact reason why sports are so popular.
It's not a need, though. So if people are having
none of the games are needs.
What's your point? But like, okay, I'll be honest. I won't buy the new game every time. Like, I'll buy one every so often. The only game I've bought like yearly for sports games is FIFA. That's the only one.
I usually just wait until the next, like a couple months later, and it's $5.
Well, that too.
You know why they can drop it down to $5? It's because they've already sold so many copies, and it's already like it's old, and they've sold a ton. Like every year, Madden sells out every year. FIFA sells out every year. Okay, but this comment right here is 1,000% valid. It's with all the Ultimate Team nonsense and selling packs. Like, kids will come on those sports games and just drop hundreds of dollars. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Have you looked at a sports game that's being like sold in it, like the pre-sale for it and everything, and what the different packages are?
I have, but I never buy them.
Okay, well,
I have never pre-ordered. Let me rephrase that. I have pre-ordered exactly one Madden game, and it was because it had Detroit Lions on the cover. That was the only time I've ever pre-ordered a Madden game.
But okay, Okay, you haven't looked at it recently then. And
I'm
now,
not the market. I don't care about football anymore.
No, I'm just saying I've looked at them because it's just FIFA.
I don't care about football.
But the thing is, they're selling $100 games. Like the game literally costs $100 if someone wants to like get it a week early.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling you week early access and ultimate team pack card packs and stuff. It's like the most microtransaction based games, and it's
disgusting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially seen as like ultimate team, I still think that's kind of stupid personally.
EA is
one of the basketball
whales.
games actually had slot machines in it.
Yeah,
where you actually would pull a slot to get some kind of points or something.
I think the European Union forced them to remove that in Europe.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have something that we should talk about too. So I don't want to get too into politics, obviously, but did you guys hear what the European Union's doing to Apple?
No.
About what?
So
they've been doing a lot of different things. So
well, this is going to actually impact us over here, and I think it's going to have some far-reaching impacts in other industries as well. So the European Union decided that for some reason they wanted to regulate what chargers were allowed to be sold. So they're actually forcing Apple by 2024 to remove the Lightning plug from all of their devices and replace it with USB-C. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan personally.
I like the Lightning jack.
No, but I'm just not a fan of the fact that
they've standardized a technology despite whether it's the most, I don't know. I think it's bad when regulators get involved and force not necessarily innovation, but standardization. Personally.
Yeah.
I think it literally does hamper the possibility of innovation in the future, and it's definitely anti-capitalist.
I think it's bad, not so much because you kind of need a certain standard overall, but like for something like a stupid plug for a phone, why do you need that to be standardized?
What they should have done is forced Apple to include the dang plug adapter in every box going forward. Like, I'm so angry.
Yeah.
I just got a pair of AirPods that only came with a cable, did not come with a plug. I'm like, are you serious, Apple? Like, that's stupid.
But Chris, I think the biggest issue is that the motivation behind this was like environmentalism stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't about creating a standard like your voltages or
I agree.
or your wall plugs.
Including the adapter should have been the answer. I agree.
Yeah.
Because it's double the packaging to buy an adapter separate.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like the way their motivations are dumb.
Yep.
And then the outcome is the outcome is basically eliminating innovation. So.
Right. Like for the same reason that the ESRB was created, just to avoid extra regulators that were outside the industry coming in and regulating which games got which tags. I think that this could have been handled inside the tech industry, not outside regulators. But I do think it's going to hamper innovation.
So here's my thing.
I agree with this, though. Get rid of loot boxes in games. But the problem is people keep buying those games with loot boxes in them.
Yep.
So, like, if people are going to buy something, then the company is still going to make it.
See, here's the thing. I don't think it should be legal to put loot boxes in games.
But I think it's gambling. I
agree. It's 100% gambling, so it should be under it should be under the same rules as gambling. It's simple. The law already exists. You don't have to say, no, you can't put it in. You just have to recognize what it is and be like.
So part of the problem with that is that they were not sending it to the ESRB.
Right.
And so there's no.
Or they would send it without the update with loot boxes in it.
Yes. Yeah, and then the ESRB would not request a correction. They just didn't care, mostly because it's the same people who own those companies that are on the ESRB.
Yeah, they want to get around that, right? And if you can get around something easily, it's gambling and it's addictive. That is a fact.
Yep.
And it instills gambling in children. I have a huge issue with that. But
the other thing
something
too, though,
that I want to explore this real quick.
I don't agree.
Carl is saying that companies don't create innovation. I think what he's trying to say is individuals get innovation and then companies buy the innovation or produce it. But I'd like him to expand on that before we talk about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like if you carve out a niche, you're probably not going to try to change that niche too much without alienating your audience. And that's a fact. That's true.
Yes and no. They can't be anti-innovation unless they control the rules that get built. So lobbying is anti-innovation inherently because they try to build barriers of entry to the market space. I don't believe that they are inherently anti-innovation, though. They're anti-competitive innovation. I just view the whole trying to mandate a specific charging apparatus as being like, oh, we're going to take Blu-ray players versus whatever, like we're going to say, oh, you have to use, it could have gone either way, right? It's 50-50 who goes and convinces the politician more. Blu-ray players could have been outlawed because we want it standardized and not to have double disc waste, right? So it's like, where you don't want some arbitrary rule maker who's probably bribed by the person who stands to benefit to make that rule.
Allegedly. Let's not just say people.
Fine, allegedly. Okay.
Potentially.
I'm just saying, you don't want that. You don't want those rules because the motive is never actually pure.
Okay. All right. I will argue against this one. Apple does not have a monopoly.
There is no monopoly.
There's no monopoly in the tech industry.
It's their product. I'm sorry. It's their store.
That's like, it's anti-competitive because you're not allowing third parties to license their adapter. So yeah, they have a monopoly over the Lightning
people
Connect.
Are upset about the App Store, Chris.
Everyone they have the walled garden. That is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
But at the same time, you choose an Apple phone.
Right. You don't have to buy an Apple phone.
And the same thing. It's like, okay, the walled garden also is protective from certain things. I don't think Apple has been as protective as they should be, but at least they've been transparent about what information they've that they're letting apps see. Okay, like the privacy aspects have been nice. I don't see.
You don't have to buy an Apple phone.
You don't. That too.
See what that is?
Yeah, a Palm.
It's a Palm Pre, my boy. I have always supported third parties, like always.
I'm just saying that, like, you don't have to buy an Apple phone, and their product is what their product is.
I honestly prefer Samsung.
I don't like Samsung
or Google.
I really
you can have
Samsung.
Google.
I don't like Google phones.
Who wants more Google in their life? Let's be honest.
No one.
You can support third-party companies and not let them die out. Like RIM, Palm, all these.
Okay, but here's the thing. I have one solid rule, and this is gonna sound silly, but I do not buy phones from companies that do not control their own operating system.
BlackBerry did, and so did Palm.
What?
BlackBerry controlled both the BlackBerry OS, and then they controlled BlackBerry 10, which was the QNX-based operating system.
I'm saying, though, that I do not
you're saying that you don't buy Samsung because they don't control Android.
I have a 100% rule. I will not buy a phone from a company who does not control and produce the operating system, because Samsung adds a bunch of bloat to Android compared to a Google Pixel. And I'm an iPhone user, so it's just like I have a rule that you're going to get the most innovation on the phone that's actually being produced by the person who's also producing the operating system.
Well, yeah, this is like wanting a clean Windows install in any PC you build, right? Like people like to have that clean Windows. You don't want to have all the gunk and garbage on top of it. It's like if I was going to buy a Android phone, which I'm never going to, but if I was going to, it would be a Google branded phone, and I would remove all the Google spyware off of it. That is a fact. It would be gone. But I really don't trust Google. I don't even use Google Maps. I don't like Google. I don't like Facebook for the same reason. It's one of the reasons I do stick to Apple is for privacy's sake.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they should do more. Okay.
Yes.
I think TikTok should be banned.
Well, you have a very extreme opinion on TikTok.
I do, but do you know what TikTok? Like, there's
Will's
not
like,
a
Will's
single.
like looking at this. He's like, I don't want to be here right now. That's the face he's giving me right now.
I agree. TikTok should be banned.
TikTok takes so much data from your phone.
It does take a lot of data.
Like, all the information that it takes, that it has, it's data harvesting without the average person knowing.
You just said the magic words for Carl.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, one that.
Oh my gosh.
I 1010% hate.
Here, I will tell you this right now, Andrew, just for your own sake. The CHRILLCAST will never be on TikTok unless somebody else puts us on there.
Yeah.
No.
Never.
I will never. I downloaded it for a second once until I realized what it asked for to be able to see, and I instantly deleted that shit. Instantly.
Yeah. The CHRILLCAST will never be on TikTok. I just will tell you that right now.
Also,
we'll never have a TikTok
can we just
account.
point the fact out that it's just a repackaged Vine?
It is.
Yes.
I used to do
Can
Vine.
people stop saying TikTok is innovative?
Well, TikTok stole everything from Musical.ly. Who stole everything from Vine?
Yeah, it's not innovative. That's my problem, and that's another problem I have with it. It's talked about as if it's creative. It's not. It's just bringing something that previously died to a generation that never experienced it.
So I'm not going to share what Carl said, but Carl
I was just about to do it. It's true, though.
Don't share that because
Carl's on top of it.
It is. They try to convince people to go become.
It's literally a long-term method to dumbify people.
Yes.
Yes. It is. It is. Do you know that teenage girls are getting facial tics from the TikTok dancing?
Oh,
literally,
really?
They're developing tics. Yes.
I'd like to see that study before I'm really willing to say that on the podcast.
But with all those stupid little dances and stuff, people are developing tics and also developing the shortest attention spans known to mankind.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Well, they doom scroll for hours.
And
doom scroll.
You just scroll through it.
It never ends.
Yes, it's a real. It
never ends.
I gotta look this up.
Doom scrolling. But when you look at Chinese TikTok, it's about becoming like engineers, astronauts, people who are discovering things or accomplishing things. You look at ours, and it's people just doing a stupid little dance.
Eating Tide Pods.
Yeah. Doing a stupid dance.
No, that was years ago. That didn't happen anytime soon. Okay, doom scrolling. Here's the actual. Here we go. Here's the doom scrolling.
Okay, but what Carlo Lucas is talking about is basically, if you've never read the book Unrestricted Warfare, TikTok is a method of unrestricted warfare. 1010%. It is, and it's social engineering to like the nth degree.
We shouldn't get off this topic though, because like I have a whole conspiracy I can get into about this.
Oh my gosh, we need to have Carl on soon. Carl, shout out to you. We need to get you on this podcast sometime soon, but hopefully on something that's not going to get us banned from YouTube. So. Oh my goodness. All right, listen here. All right, let's see here. Doom scrolling. So this is something that
it's a real thing, man.
I almost never find myself doing, but I have done it a few times. Honestly,
this is why I get off. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, this is why I've tried to avoid as much Twitter as possible.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, because I will doom scroll because, I go on Bitcoin Twitter, and I'm not gonna lie, you can doom scroll the shit out of that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Doom scrolling or doom surfing is the act of spending an excessive amount of screen time devoted to the absorption of negative news. Oh, it's got to be negative. Okay. Well, then that's literally
it doesn't have to be negative, but
no, it's like when you see like teenagers just looking at their phone, it's like
they're like scrolling.
They're just looking for like 15-second video.
If somebody didn't remind them to eat, then they would just die.
Yeah. I one time saw
me with video games as a teenager. Like, you just don't feel hungry after 5 hours. You're just like,
Okay, but video games are like, okay, let's be fair. Yes, some video games are definitely fueled by attention spans that are short. But there are many games that require a much longer attention span.
Oh yeah.
Like, for example, story-driven games like Fable, The Witcher.
But also, think about the
Chris,
control that you have as a parent over your kid with the video game. You take the video game, it's gone.
That's true.
It's almost impossible to take away phones now because like everything's integrated in the classroom. You have to have the phone. But then even if you take away the phone and their computer, the moment they step beside any other kid, they're instantly back onto this, having Twitter,
I'd almost be okay with my kids scrolling YouTube and when they're old enough and it's appropriate over scrolling.
What
TikTok.
Is that age?
I don't know yet. Haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
My kids are certainly not old enough yet.
Here's the thing.
My oldest is 5.
TikTok, for example, and Instagram, more than Twitter and Facebook, have been shown to be extremely detrimental to young girls who are starting to go through puberty.
Let me just pause you real quick.
Yeah.
I will expand on this real quick. You don't need to think too much on playing games like Doom. That is correct.
That is
but
true.
The attention span of playing through an entire level of Doom is far longer than watching a TikTok video. That's what I'm getting at.
I mean, that's the only... Okay, every game that ever took me for like 5 hours, it was always like Skyrim or something. So it was never like, oh, I have the lowest attention span ever. So it's not like doom scrolling. It's literally I'm just playing through this long story. Yeah, I'm immersed in this world. I'm like Ready Player One. I don't want to screw that. It's like it's completely different. But
video games aren't great for you long term if you're playing them too much. And you have to decide where that line is for each and every individual person. I'm not going to tell anybody where that line is. You figure it out yourself.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing on that. You don't need to bring your video game console with you anywhere.
That's true.
There's an escape. Your phone, on the other hand,
you go for a run,
is always
with you.
Yeah. So it's like, have you ever? You could just find yourself doing a workout, right? You're working out, and you accidentally get a notification. You get a notification, and you go on whatever social media. Next thing you know, what's supposed to be your 15-minute rest between reps is now been like 5 minutes, and you're just like, shit. Okay, like, so I'm like trying. It's social media that makes a person like me almost be like, maybe the Amish aren't stupid.
Yeah, I know. I have the same feeling.
Okay, like, I just can't bring myself to completely delete it.
Coworkers have Twitter, TikTok, including my boss, who's like 60 something. Yeah. And it's like they'll come in and start talking about TikTok. It's like, okay, this is ridiculous. We're grown adults. Why are we talking about this? And they'll be like,
and then you're like, let's talk
about it. You see the one with this dog doing this? It's like, why is this even a topic of conversation? The world is going to shit right now. This is what we're talking about.
Right.
It's like, come
on.
Like,
that's why I try to not post, man. I just try not to. And I won't download TikTok because that's cancer. And as is, I try to avoid doing much with like Instagram. I made the mistake of downloading it at one point, so
this is part of the reason why I like to have long form conversations in a podcast format as opposed to doing shorter segments like we used to, because I felt I was definitely feeling a shorter attention span when we stopped doing we started doing the shorter podcast segments, and I like having these long form discussions even if they go off into the middle of nowhere.
Right. I mean, let's look at it this way. Games, you've seen that short attention span really hit into gaming, though. The prevalence of...
If you don't take your phone with you when you go out, you're less likely to step in dog poo. That is a fact. Yep.
Is it? I don't really look at my phone while walking, but I'm also one of those people who looks at the ground a lot.
Hey, the chances of you stepping in dog poo are lower if you don't have your phone. That is fair. A fact. You're not going to get a phone call while you're walking. You're not going to get a text message when you're walking.
I'm also one of those people who seems to find every penny and pick it up. So,
is that shiny penny?
Yeah.
Why is it glued to the sidewalk? Oh no.
No, but like you've seen that short attention span really hit into games. I've noticed even my gaming has suffered a little bit with the type of games I'm starting. Like I want to play, because like sports games, I think that's like the lowest attention span thing. Granted,
I don't know
I'd
about
like to
that.
play them while I listen to a podcast. So maybe
Do you have the
it's
same problem that I have where like if my hands sit idle too long, I almost like kind of go numb?
a little bit, yeah.
Like I always feel like if I'm not doing something with my hands, I kind of just my brain just stops working.
Yeah, it's just I like to do something instead. I can't just sit there and listen to a podcast. I have to be doing something. So if
I usually
relax,
clean when I listen to podcasts or
That
do
too.
yard work. Yard work's
Clean,
usually
yeah,
fun.
or I
Yeah.
listen to them while I'm at work.
Yeah, exactly. I like to put something passive on that I can kind of tune in and tune out as I see fit.
But I mean, like, look at the games though. Mobile gaming is becoming much more prevalent. You're starting to have. You even had, what was it, Quibi or whatever, for videos where they were trying
10-minute
to
lunch.
do that.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
the smoker break, guys, or something.
Right.
Like that.
And it's just like everything's starting to just go down this. You can't pay attention for longer than whatever.
Meanwhile, movies, if they're less than 2.5 hours, they're just not producing it. Like, why are you making a 3-hour children's movie? My kid can't even watch an hour and a half movie.
You know, that might be honestly a place where there's a market for some innovation. No, like TV shows, I think, are starting to just replace movies.
Yeah, you
in
get like
general.
45-minute episodes of a show, and it's like that's too long, man.
But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm coming to this point where I feel like movies are too shallow. Maybe it might be a combination of things. The short attention span.
What are you watching? Dune? That's like a 6-hour movie. The original, not the new one.
You have the short attention span though, Chris, right? Like they're trying to not lose people, so they simplify everything.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay attention as much. But then this movie is shallow as hell for like an hour and a half only. I've seen a lot of those. Netflix puts those on all the time. And you're like, this should have been fleshed out for like an extra hour.
Hey, you know what? Netflix is producing Knives Out too. I'm curious to see what they do with that because Knives Out 1 was really good. Have you seen Knives Out? It's actually a really good movie. It's by the same guy that did Star Wars Episode 8. So I was going.
He never gets another dollar from me.
I was expecting that movie to be absolutely trash when I found out who he was the director, and then I was like, "Wow, this is actually a really good movie."
I mean, he had to get the Star Wars job somehow, and then he just choked under pressure.
I feel like a lot of people do with Star Wars because, like, how do you live up to the legacy?
It's not
of George
hard.
Lucas?
It's not hard, Chris.
I was making a joke.
Okay.
Now trying to beat Peter Jackson at Lord of the Rings ain't gonna happen.
Oh my God, Twilight sucks. Yes.
Why is it with the
because it's vampires, they suck.
Yeah.
Oh.
But also it's trash. Okay. As a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a douchebag. But someone made the comment that I couldn't shit on Twilight unless I read the books. So I read the books.
Oh no, you
just so I could.
Why did you do that to yourself? Oh my God.
I was dedicated to
I read
on
the
Twilight.
second one and it is so poorly written.
I'm one of those people who likes to read something and then critique it while I'm doing so. If I know I'm going to hate it, or watch something and critique it. So Twilight can't make it 2 pages without Bella having a paragraph describing Edward's amazing appearance. It's literally every 2 pages.
Clearly somebody was into vampires.
Clearly the author is incapable of writing a legitimate story without having to resort to extreme filler material. And
if you actually realize this as you're reading, they don't ever describe Bella. She is not described at all.
She's meant to be. No, I did read about that. Bella's meant to be a character you can paste your own self onto.
Well, you can't. She has a very strong, terrible personality.
Yes.
No, but that's what they want you to be, that character, but you can't be because
she's stupid.
Yeah, she's awful.
The character is too stupid.
Did you know that 50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction based off of Twilight?
Yes, I did know that.
Yes.
I didn't know
Yes,
that.
it's basically the premise is, what if they actually did have sex all the time?
Is it bad that that's probably a better story than
Probably is.
Twilight?
You know, it's funny. Some of the
But-
music that came out of that movie is actually pretty good. I think Ellie Goulding wrote a song for that movie, and I like it quite a bit. Can't
I
remember what song
watched
it was.
all but the last movie. I could not do it.
No, not Twilight. 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh no, I didn't watch any of those.
I didn't
movies.
watch those at all.
50 Shades of Grey had good soundtracks. Now that
It
you've
did.
clarified which movie.
Carl said he read all the books. We need to do a
Which
Twilight
one?
podcast.
Which one?
Wait,
50 Shades of
Grey
Grey or
Twilight? Which one, Carl? I want to know now.
Well, he said I read all books. It was a book.
That you can
Here's a
read.
book.
No, it's like the Star Wars trilogy, the newest Star Wars trilogy. I found something every 2 minutes that I hated about that movie too. So
You
I
read all the
actually
Twilight
wrote a
books.
list as I was watching it in the theater
Yeah.
of all the things I hated about it.
Oh no, you should have been with my friend Alex and I when we tried to do a drinking game about those, and we had to stop 20 minutes in because we quickly
There were
realized we
certainly
would
letters.
die.
Hey, listen. There's a movie called I think it's literally called It's either Vampires Suck or Not Another Vampire Movie, and I saw that in theaters, and it was way better than Twilight.
Yes.
Everything's better in Twilight.
Now I remember if that's a legit movie.
I
Here's
watched
the
this
thing.
movie where this guy literally had a poop monster come out of his butt and kill people who annoyed him, and that was a better plot.
Okay,
It is
the
Vampires
problem is
Suck. That's the movie.
that Robert Pattinson actually is a decent actor,
He is. Oh yeah.
and
Oh, did you see the Batman yet?
no, I haven't.
I'm probably gonna see it at some point soon.
But
Here it
he's
is,
actually a
Vampires Suck.
decent actor, and it's kind of sad.
This is
that
better
he's
than
in that.
if you hated Twilight, watch this because it's decent. Edward Sullen. He literally he shows up on screen, just starts taking his clothes off in the start of the movie.
Oh no, I have seen that. I've seen
Oh
that.
my gosh, I love this.
I've seen this.
Yeah. It's good. It's horrible, but it's good. It's like Sharknado of
What's her name?
vampire
I
movies.
really
And it's Becca Crane instead of Bella.
no. Well, who's the actress though? Kristen,
For this
is it
movie?
Kristen Stewart. Is she
Yeah.
Bella? I think she's an awful actress.
Yes.
I
Honestly,
think she
though,
is the worst actress.
She
To ever
can't
land a
act
major
at all,
gig.
but she
Yeah,
does a great
she's
job of
just a
that
stoner.
character. She does she plays that character perfectly.
That's because she is that character.
Yeah, I know.
The only reason she ever gets a single role in any movie is because she's a stoner chick who they like to smoke with or something. I'm just saying she's awful as an actress, and actually, it's no. She sounds like she smokes way too much too. Her horse.
Let's not go down the route of just making fun of people's actual
Yeah.
characteristics.
You want to swing back to video games
This
and talk
isn't.
about what
This
we're
isn't.
playing?
Fine.
All right,
Fine.
let's do it. Let's do an
Swing
update
back.
on the CHRILLCAST. All right. So what are then? Now we talk about something we really hate. Twilight. Just no, thank you.
Mhm.
See, this was us
games-
doom scrolling.
This was literally us doom scrolling during a podcast.
Yep.
All right. We just spent like half an hour crapping on Twilight instead of doing.
It wasn't half an hour. It was 10 minutes.
long enough to clip it into an actual CHRILLCLIPS episode.
Yes.
All right. It's just the CHRILLCAST hating on vampires.
Mhm.
Okay. Next meme. What are we playing and why are we playing it? I guess
Who's going first?
I'll go.
Or you go, Chris. Go.
I have been playing the crap out of The Witcher 2, and mostly
Okay.
because I have been staying upstairs trying to help out with the newborn as much as possible. So I've been sitting in the lazy boy and holding him at night sometimes, just playing Witcher 2. And I really love the Witcher series, so it gives me an excuse to sit at my Xbox 360 and play through it. And I'm currently on chapter 2, I want to say.
Mm.
Yeah, I was creeping on your achievements. I saw that you killed the
The K-Ring.
Yeah, whatever that monster thing was in the swamp.
That thing was a pain in the butt, man.
Well, yeah, it was super hard until you looked it up and you're like, oh, there's a very, very specific way of killing this. Nothing else in the game is like that.
Nothing else you can do that with. Yeah.
Yep.
I also found out that harpies will just surround you and kill you because you can't attack multiple enemies at once. At least not easily.
Oh, the harpies are hard in the beginning.
The first game, Witcher 1, has a multiple enemy attack where you basically slash around and hit all the enemies at once. The Witcher 2 has nothing like that. So like you're basically stuck hitting one enemy at a time.
I think you can hit multiple. Maybe that's later though.
I think you have to earn it through the progression system.
Yeah.
Because that is available to you from the start of the game. And I'm like, why on earth would I not be able to swing my sword and hit multiple people?
You do turn into a walking tank by the end of the game though.
Well, I'm going magic route. Maybe that's the wrong choice.
Oh, yeah. I barely upgraded my magic. I definitely did more choppy choppies.
Witcher 2 is the awkward teenager. No, Witcher 2. Okay, so I got to ask you, Will, since I'm playing Witcher 2.
Yeah.
How many references from The Witcher 1 do you think you missed because you didn't play it?
How would I know that, Chris?
So, for example, there's some references that I never would have thought would have made it into the second game. Like the Order of the Flaming Rose. There's like a random guy in the encampment of the second game where you walk into a tent and he's like, I'm here to kill you for fighting Siegfried. And Witcher, like, it's like, what the what's okay? And you just kill him in the middle of the tent. You're like, holy cow.
In Witcher 3, there was a bunch of callbacks and characters. I was like, who the hell is this? And
dude,
they act like they know you. Like you have a whole conversation like, oh, like we know each other essentially. And it's like, I don't remember you all from the last game. So you must be from the first game or this is made up. I'm so confused.
Like Zoltan Shive is a huge part of the Witcher 1.
Yeah.
And then he's a huge part of Witcher 2. I'm curious if he's in the Witcher 3 at all.
Zoltan.
He's the dwarf.
He's in the third game.
What was that?
Have you been watching the TV series?
I watched the first season. I haven't gotten to the second one yet.
Yeah, just the first one. I didn't even finish the first season. There's too many Yennefer boobs.
That's what Will keeps telling me. I'm like, I don't remember there being that many.
No, man. She is naked in like every episode, and it's uncomfortable.
Although I will say, I don't care too much for Yennefer's character at all.
Yennefer's terrible.
Yeah, I don't really care.
You have to take too many breaks during those scenes, Will.
The dwarf that might or may not be an elven terrorist.
Oh, yeah.
Based on whether you decide to, no matter what you decide to do, like he either sides with you or against you. But yeah, I like Zoltan. He's awesome. Mm-hmm. The Witcher 1, like I did not realize how tied together the story was from The Witcher 1 to Witcher 2. But I'm glad that I actually took the time, the 200 hours it took me to beat The Witcher 1, just because of the timing and what I was doing at the time, to get into The Witcher 2 with all of the information I have. I did like every side quest in the first Witcher game.
Yeah. Good luck doing that in The Witcher 3. Like that, you're going to never finish. Yeah. But speaking of the boss battle, the whatever that octopus thing was, the last boss in The Witcher 2, super frustrating, at least for me.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I rage quit a couple times.
Yeah,
it's a weird ending, too, because like you kill it. I'm not going to ruin it for you. So
don't ruin it for me. I'm literally playing this game now, and I'm going to finish it probably before the month's over. I absolutely love the Witcher games. Like, even though The Witcher 1 was a slog, that was a painful experience to get through. I definitely think there was value in all the callbacks in The Witcher 2, which I was not expecting there to be that many callbacks in The Witcher 2. But you said you felt like throughout the game there was things you're like, wow, I don't have any idea what this reference is.
Oh, yeah, for The Witcher 3, for sure. Yeah. There's a lot that I was just like, what the heck? I don't know what we're talking about. It's still really good, and you still you like the characters in the game, even though you have no idea who they are.
Like Dandelion changed significantly from 1 to 2.
Okay.
The appearances, especially like The Witcher looks more snaky. His face looks kind of snaky in The Witcher 1, and then he gets more, Henry Cavill by the third one. But yeah, I am looking forward to some of the DLC in Witcher 3 where they bring back the character I liked way more in The Witcher 1 over Triss, although Triss is growing on me in The Witcher 2. I like Triss
I liked her a lot. I mean, that intro scene really sold me on her. So
I skipped that. I'll be honest. I skipped that scene. Like, I don't need to see that in video games.
Well, what's funny about that is like, so I started playing that game and everyone's like, "Oh, there's so much nudity in Witcher 2." That's literally the only sex scene that I had in that entire game. So like, I don't know if I just had like a weird playthrough or something, but that was it. The Witcher 3, I was like, everybody was on me, but.
So here's a funny story. You say that, right? So there's this part where you're supposed to go find one of the characters working in like a brothel. Mm-hmm. It's like I was going around. I was like, it's like, oh, you'll have to pay this person money. So like I just like clicking through prompts and just clicked money, and then all of a sudden it initiated a sex scene. Like what?
Clicking through prompts.
It's like hold on.
That's what he calls it these days.
Yeah. Because I was like clicking through it, and all of a sudden I look at the screen and I'm like, what? I thought I was buying information.
That just reminds me of every Dragon Age game.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like honestly, The Witcher is like that sweet spot in between an Elder Scrolls game and Fable. It's not quite an Elder Scrolls game, but it's also not quite Fable.
I mean, you're gonna take that back a little bit with The Witcher 3. That is
talking about Witcher 2.
The Witcher 3 might be
straight up an Elder Scrolls game.
It's definitely. I would say it's probably top 3 Western RPGs.
You think so?
Yeah, it is. It's a phenomenal game.
Oh, so okay. So in The Witcher 1, I read on this because I didn't want the scene to show up at all, but because it was creepy to me. But there was essentially a scene where these 3 vampire women run this whorehouse in the first Witcher game.
It's a good setup, okay.
And when you protect them from this knight that's just angry because they didn't fulfill his desire, he ends up like flipping out and trying to kill you. So you kill him, and then they initiate this scene where you have essentially relations with all 3 of the vampire ladies at once, and it's like something I did not want to see, that's for sure. Because they already are kind of gross. Like in my personal taste, I think they're kind of gross looking, just because they're like these deformed vampires. But if you're into that, it is in The Witcher 1.
Oh my god!
But The Witcher 2, my goodness, this is one of my favorite games on the 360 that I didn't even know was on the 360 until Will told me, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. All right, well. What about you? Oh, and I'm reading C.S. Lewis, FYI. So we'll talk about that later.
Which book though?
Keep going. We'll do books after the games.
Okay. So games are now I'm playing quite a few. So I'm doing it like my annual playthrough of all the Fable games. So I'm on Fable 3. Gonna actually. I
thought we were gonna save that for streaming, man.
Well, we can play it again. I was playing it twice when I was playing with you too.
Were you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, I literally had 2 different playthroughs. So play that game. I'm doing Spartan Ops for Halo 4 finally, and Spartan Ops is terrible, but there are quite a few. Like there's chapters within each episode. There's way too many. It's way too long, but a couple of them are actually really good, and I do not understand why.
Down? How is that game set up?
No, it's essentially an extension to the campaign.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look that up again.
And honestly, the way it starts off terrible, but there's several, like I said, there's several chapters that are actually really good. That should have been in the main campaign, or they should have condensed it down to like 1 episode, and just had all those really great moments. And it's kind of sad they got buried in like a lot of this boring, repetitive crap.
Oh, the Halo 4 Spartan Ops.
Yes,
it was not Spartan Assault or that other one.
No.
Okay.
No, it's what their replacement for Firefight was, and everyone pretty much hated it.
You're telling me there's a decent story behind it. That's what you're telling me.
The story, I mean, you can watch the cutscenes. They have actual like animated cutscenes and stuff. But
did Spartan Ops make it to MCC?
Yeah, that's how I'm playing it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
I'm playing Jurassic World Evolution finally.
You're playing that game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a park building sim. It's good.
Oh, okay.
You have Jeff Goldblum, so of course it's going to be amazing no matter what. And then it's honestly really well done. So it really hits that Zoo Tycoon itch. And there's some like random elements of chaos, which is really interesting. So like you'll have like random power failures or storms or stuff, which is cool. What else am I playing? Oh, then on the Switch, I'm playing through Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime. Not Metroid Prime, but the new Metroid Dread.
It's like, wait, you're playing Metroid Prime?
No,
What?
not Prime. Yep, so those are the games I'm playing right now.
Will got the beta version of Metroid Prime that Nintendo's been working on for like 3 years.
Uh-huh.
This is a good question. I'm not. Will, how about you?
What? Oh, no.
Elden Ring.
I'm still hesitant to pick this up just because I suck at Dark Souls games. People say this one's better as far as like being a good entry point for people, but I don't know.
I purchased it. I still have to play it. So
I think if we do Elden Ring, I think we should stream some of it. Gambling. That's what Halo needs, apparently. That's what Carl says.
My biggest thing with games like Dark Souls and Demon Souls is that I think that's better to play with a group of friends.
Sitting around you, yeah.
And then you're handing off every time you die.
Yeah, that would be fun, yeah.
That was my favorite way to play it, so.
You know, he's not wrong about the gambling, though. He's just wrong about the way it's implemented. There's Pizak in KOTOR. There's Gwent in The Witcher. It's fake. It's not real.
Picks, though.
Yeah, but he's talking Diablo Immoral, not Immortal. Diablo Immoral.
Nice.
We might have to spend an entire segment just on like bad monetization and just discussing it, all the history of it, all the stupid things, maybe even just gambling and gaming. That could be a good podcast week. All right, Carl, you bring up a good idea. Maybe we can discuss that a different week.
Yep.
So Andrew, what are you playing if you're not playing Elden Ring?
I'm still playing the Uncharted games.
Oh, you're playing those with your wife, right?
Yeah. So she really likes those games, and I never played them before. So we've been playing through the remastered collection, and she really wants me to get to Game 4 because she loves the soundtrack. So
I have heard the fourth one is in competition for the best in the series. Like a lot of people love number 2.
Right
3
now
is like universally considered the worst.
3?
I think 3. It's either 3 or I thought 3 was universally the worst.
Right now, I would say 3 is my least favorite. It's still early in it that I'm playing because that's the one I'm on right now.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that's the worst one.
So right now, if I had to say,
unless you include Golden Abyss, that's probably the worst one. Although it's still great for a portable game.
It was actually not that bad, but
I liked it on portable. Yeah.
My only complaint with Uncharted is that it's always like supernatural shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's like Indiana Jones.
No, except it's supernatural. Indiana Jones. I mean, I guess
there's the crystal skulls. There's
it's all supernatural. Yeah.
Come on, man.
When you think about it, you're like, oh, right. Yeah.
No, but it's like never once is it simply just a treasure hunter conflict.
Well, Tomb Raider went that way too. The Tomb Raider is basically a reskin of the new Tomb Raider, anyways, is a reskin of Uncharted. They basically made Uncharted except Tomb Raider.
It's just one of those things where it's like, maybe once I would appreciate just like a good old fashioned treasure hunter conflict with the bounty hunter style people, mercenaries, and it's just like there's no occult nonsense. There's no zombie whatever or
even Far Cry 3 like starts off like that where you're like, okay, this is just a good conflict with these pirates, whatever, and it just goes completely off the deep end.
Yeah.
So the ending to that game is just nuts.
Yeah, that's the one thing I think I would like to appreciate once, a game that can just be, I don't know, based in realism of a sort.
I thought the original
idea.
I thought the original Tomb Raider like reimagined series they did from like 2013 to 2019 was going to be like that, like just a straight up treasure hunter thing. Right. But then right at the end, like you start seeing things slip through the cracks. It's like, okay, no, something magical is going on here. And then all of a sudden you're fighting this like giant dead samurai dude. And you're like, what?
Right. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like this is actually a genre that doesn't get the proper love. It's like you got the treasure hunter thing, and then they always feel like they have to do something like special.
Yep.
And even Assassin's Creed, man, like all these games feel like they have to have something special. And it's like you could just do the game. Like you could just do an Assassin's Creed game without the alien, like the future civilization thing. No one would have complained.
Wait, what alien thing?
you know, the Apple of Eden, like the original whatever. You know, the thing where like the simulation stuff.
No, I missed that. I haven't played any of the new. I haven't liked Assassin's Creed since basically the Ezio trilogy.
Yeah, it's in that, bro. You
Is
know
it?
the Apple of Eden thing? Yeah.
Bro, that's the whole point.
That's the whole mission is about discovering the like who the
It's been a
like ancient
long
civilization
time
was.
since I've played
Yeah,
that
I mean,
trilogy.
remember all those stupid Desmond
Oh, that
portions?
ruined the game for me.
Yeah, I hated them. I never once enjoyed a single mission that was actually Desmond. You don't.
I guess I've only
You have
played.
to replay it, man.
I gotta replay it. I don't
This is
remember
on.
stuff.
This has to go on your list because even though it's the greatest, like it's one of the greatest trilogy of games ever, the Ezio ones, I still think that it was like kneecapped by the fact that they had to have some like stupid underlining story that they thought was mysterious. But I feel like I don't know, but judging by Will's reaction, we're on the same page here.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just like the most
Maybe I never
infuriating
finished
thing.
those games. I guess.
Yeah, it's just like the most infuriating thing ever to me. Like I dreaded every time I got taken out of Ezio and put
Dude,
into
I
Desmond.
100% agree that Horizon Zero Dawn could benefit from the way Tomb Raider does its games. I do not like the way Horizon is. Yeah, exactly. The open world in Horizon is useless. That's my opinion.
That's fair. Honestly, it is a bit too open. The way the map is set up, I think. But yeah,
All
like that's my hot take right now on the games I'm playing. I just feel like they always want something to be magical because they want it to be. They think they need to set themselves apart, and it's like doing nothing magical right now. I think would
really set somebody
Yeah,
apart.
it would, and it would actually be, I don't know, refreshing. Just an escape that feels like an escape that's real and it doesn't break immersion.
What you want is Red Dead Retribution, but like Indiana Jones style.
Yeah, kind of. It doesn't. It just needs to be like they can make it as narration driven as possible, and I wouldn't care. It'd be nice, honest, like an interactive story.
All right, so let's get into. You want to do books or media next?
I don't have media at the moment, really.
Me either.
Okay, well then I don't really either. I did watch Spider-Man: No Way Home. Loved it. Great movie.
Yeah, it's good.
And I also watched Father Stew, another great movie. Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson. Good movie.
I've been rewatching the Maze Runner movies.
I've seen some of them. I don't think I've seen all of them.
It's kind of weird. I mean, I read the books back in the day, and it's a little weird given the way the adaption's a little off, I think, but I don't know. I've always thought that those post-apocalyptic things are
usually they're kind of weird.
Because I watched the Divergent ones too. And
those
it reminded me why I hated those.
Yeah, well, that series killed the young adult films.
Yeah, because it's okay, it benefited because the last book wasn't out yet, right? So they started the movies before the last book was released. So whoever was like, "Oh, this is fantastic. Let's make a story. Like, let's make this into a movie," had no idea that the way it all ended was going to be trash. So they just jumped the gun.
That's why George R. Martin never finished Game of Thrones, because if they would have known how he was going to finish that series.
Yeah.
Don't bring that up. That's a sore spot for me.
Same. Same. Books. I'm not reading anything that's just a story. I've been trying to read things to learn more than. So I've been reading what is it called? How Many Friends Does a Person Really Need? The Dunbar's Number book. If you don't know what Dunbar's Number is, it's basically that you can 150 people is the average amount of people that you can actually have close connections with at any given time, where you actually care about them, seriously care about them, and know what's happening in their life. Then it moves out to 500, and I will badmouth the hell about that stupid story. The only good one is the first one. All right, after that it's dumpster fire. And yeah, so my books are boring. No one's gonna wanna.
Hey, I'm reading The Fourth Turning, which is kind of in line with some of the stuff.
All right, so perfect.
What was that? What did you just do?
I just knocked over my a part of my keyboard because I caught it on the way up. But
So-
you know the flap thing at the to like but yeah, The Fourth Turning is a fantastic book.
If you want to know like about like historical cyclical civilization, it is a pretty good
Yeah.
book. It's not like a holistic view of society, but it is a pretty good like cultural.
It's holistic. It's holistic.
It is, but it isn't. It's like
it makes so much sense
it
about
does. Yeah.
the current generations.
Yeah, if you want to know more about like how cultures change over the course of like centuries, it does do a really good job kind of describing that.
It's a little biased. Well, not biased. It's from a Western framework.
Right. Yeah. So it doesn't
And-
really necessarily focus on Europe at all.
No, it's Anglosphere.
Yeah.
And that's the focus. It's really good.
All right, Andrew, let's go.
Yeah. Don't. I think this person is looking through the lens of a fond history, and from when they first read the story, and they have to you have to rewatch it. That's all I can say. It does not hold up. It's I'm not gonna say too many ill words about it. I don't
But
wanna
if
insult
you really
them.
like Divergent and those kind of stuff, and whatnot, former what?
I'm a former SAS member, by the way. Okay.
I'm not sure how to
Okay.
respond to that one. All right, let's keep going. I'm reading C.S. Lewis right now. It's the second
book?
book, and it's the second book in his space trilogy, Paralandria. I gotta look that up now. If you ever want to read like space fiction by C.S. Lewis, he actually wrote a whole trilogy in space.
I didn't realize this. I thought you were gonna say it was one of his like religious books, which are really interesting.
I'm not
That's
reading
what I
that
thought
right now.
too.
I'm reading space trilogy that he wrote. I think it's Paralandra. Yeah, Paralandra. It is actually very. There's a lot of religious themes in it that I wasn't expecting.
Well, it's C.S.
That's
Lewis.
everything he's done.
Yeah,
But it's written in such a way that like I think anybody could read it, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
I'm still
it's
salty with
a good book. I'm outside your house right now.
I'm
Bye,
still
Andrew.
salty, man, with how they've kind of shit the bed with his
Chronicles of Narnia.
yeah.
Because they stopped making them. Like I was kind of annoyed. Like they were doing a pretty decent job with it. I
Well,
felt.
Netflix took it over now, haven't they? So
yeah.
I don't know what's the timetable on that is, but
Well, they're gonna produce that show, and they're gonna be like, "Well,
it's a
there's no
TV
religious
series,
themes,
right?
Yeah. Well, they're gonna say there's no religious themes in this story.
They'll
there
do
are.
something like
Just
that.
just
It's-
wait.
No,
They're gonna say
just
that.
really
my
wanted-
favorite meme on the internet is the one where they're talking about it's like J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis are having a conversation, and C.S. Lewis is something about all of the Lord of the Rings being about the Bible of this and that, and then J.R.R. Tolkien just says, "I have 2 words for you: Jesus lion."
Yeah. Well, he even says, like, Aslan even says, like, I am known by another name in your world. And it's very
Yeah.
heavily indicated that it's Jesus, okay?
I just love the fact that him and Tolkien were in competition.
Yes.
It's
You're okay, bro. Peace.
the thing though about the Chronicles of Narnia, I wanted The Horse and His Boy to be made.
That'd be a good one, yeah.
Because that is low key, I think, the most underrated book that didn't get a movie.
If you guys are curious, you want to know the premise of this series? The premise of the series is that the main character is named a guy like Dr. Something Ransom. He's like got a really strange literary / language degree where he can like translate between languages, learn commonalities between them, and kind of translate even foreign languages nobody's heard of. That's kind of his whole idea. So like him going to another planet is perfect because he can actually figure out patterns and recognize language and learn it very quickly based on his doctorate or PhD or whatever you call it. And the whole thing is like he leaves Earth, not on his own, not because he wants to, because he gets trapped and taken there by some people that think they're going to eat him on this other planet. Like basically think he's food, and he's not. That's not what they wanted him for at all. They wanted him for a different reason. But essentially, you come to find out that all these planets are connected, like spiritually, I guess, if you want to say it that way. And the Earth was cut off, and it's the silent planet because the guide or the main person of the planet Earth decided to make the planet wicked, and all the other planets are not wicked. Okay. So all the other planets can kind of talk to each other, and they have
C.S. Lewis. I'm in.
It's interesting. It's very different from C.S. Lewis' other works, and it's a lot shorter until you get to the third book, which takes place on Earth.
Do you think it holds up as well?
Oh yes, it definitely does. But this is a series, like if you're really into like spiritual themes, religious ideas, this is a good book to read. Yeah. It's a good series because it takes you out of like the normal world of C.S. Lewis and what he writes, and this is very different.
This is a legit question.
I mean, it's a good point. Yeah. Narnia sucks except the first one. That's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard reading these books now because they're meant for children. So
they are just like The Hobbit, hard to read. No.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree that it's hard to read the Chronicles of Narnia. I thought it was still decent.
I actually I think last year I tried to reread all of them. I got through the first 3, and I was just like, I can't do it anymore.
I thought it was. I haven't reread them since high school because I reread them in high school, and I thought it was a good. Fresh eyes to see it at that time. But I feel like a game for Narnia would actually be pretty good if it was a more open world, and because you can see some ugly stuff in that world.
Yep.
All right. So to answer your private chats. We're gonna get moving soon. No. I love The Hobbit. Okay, I'm not bad mouthing The Hobbit.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, that is fighting words.
The Hobbit is like probably his best book.
The movies,
Lord of the Rings,
but the book, I'm not bad mouthing the book at all.
The book is. I think The Hobbit is his best book.
It's a great book. I don't know if I can say it's.
Don't you dare tell me Two Towers is his best book. Because half the book is awful.
No, I'm not going to say that at all.
Okay. That's his worst book.
The thing is, it's hard because The Lord of the Rings, that is one book. So,
well, okay, fine.
The Silmarillion.
And also, the thing is, there's so many other books he's written. He wrote Beowulf. He wrote a King Arthur story. I can't think of the name of it right now. It was really good. And several other ones. So it's tough. The thing is, I love The Hobbit too. So.
I just hate the way he structured Two Towers.
Yeah, I don't like it either, the way he structured the Two Towers.
Because I can't.
That was actually the reason why I didn't finish the Two Towers in high school.
Right, because you can't. No one should be forced to read half a book full, like that many pages of just Sam and Frodo.
I don't know. I didn't have. I love those books front to back. I didn't have any problems with them.
My only problem was I hate Sam and Frodo. For that it was overload.
Okay,
this is the doctor, philologist. That's what Dr. Ransom is a philologist. Okay. It's a study of language in oral and written historical sources, intersection of textual criticism, literary criticism, history, and linguistics. Study of literary texts, both oral and written records. So that's why he's able to easily pick up on languages from the other worlds.
Out of 10, what would you rate it?
I really enjoyed the first book. I'm about 30% to 40% of the way through the second book, and I haven't read any other books in between. So
he just has a babblefish in his ear. That's how he can hear the languages.
We're gonna go down the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy again.
That is my favorite scene, I think, of any book. That little line where they say like the babblefish proves God, and by proving him, he no longer is like. He's no longer a belief, so like actually disproves him at the same time, and God like poofs out of existence. It's like this is so funny. Oh man, I laughed so hard.
You ever want to watch good comedy though? The BBC 10-episode miniseries by Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is great fun from the 80s. I think it's from the 80s or something.
Dude, the BBC has some good.
I love old school satirical BBC.
Anyway, I never said what I was reading.
Go ahead.
Speaking of J.R.R. Tolkien, I'm actually reading the book that his son published, Baron and Luthien. So this is an expansion. An expansion on the story that's in the Silmarillion.
Yeah, because there's in the Silmarillion, when they compiled that, there was a lot of written texts that they were looking for to compile books out of the Silmarillion, and then they just kind of put that together as a like full-blown historical book about.
Yeah, I'm curious with like how they're going to expand on the story, because the story is pretty well explained in the Silmarillion. So I don't know. Right now, I'm only like 40 pages into it, and it's still just Christopher talking about how he actually managed to make this book. And it's like part of it was J.R. Tolkien actually had erased the story and had written over it, but like I don't know how they find it, but you're able to see the erased words.
Because
there's indents. They probably use some kind of photography tricks.
You can
remember, children, always bring a towel.
But
Towel-y.
I mean,
sorry.
Obviously, you're going to be looking forward to the Amazon TV series.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Not for the reasons that most people are complaining about. It's one, they're condensing stories that didn't happen at the same time. So I'm worried how they're going to do that. They're already not respecting the lore. And then they also have the Hobbits in there, which frustrate the hell out of me because the Hobbits didn't exist yet. I
didn't realize they were putting the Hobbits in.
Oh yeah, they're main characters.
The Hobbitses.
I stopped paying attention because I just expect it to be bad.
Well, the very first trailer, you have a Hobbit narrating it, and I was like, oh man. Yeah, a lot of other things that I'm also upset about. But they got
the beards on.
Are you still like pretending to stalk Will with this conversation here, essay? Because Will, you might want to lock your doors. Like, what's going on here? All right. Well, I want to wrap this up. So for the last thing we're going to do real quick before we cut it out, what is your favorite book you've ever read?
Ooh, that's tough.
You're cruel.
That's an impossible thing to say.
Okay, fine. How about a book that's less known that you've read? A less popular book.
Tough Voyaging by George R.R. Martin. That was a highly enjoyable book.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's locked the gate, so we have to go around. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's a Hitchhiker's quote. Okay, I did not recognize that right away.
Yeah, the Bible. You know what's funny? I actually was going to say that, one, to be kind of cheeky, but also, if you really think about it, it's got everything. It's got death, rape, violence.
Everything
the answer to everything in the universe, everything. Yeah. Life, the universe, and everything. 42.
It has the answer to everything, and it also has no answer.
Exactly.
It's great.
Tough Voyaging. What's Tough Voyaging? Oh, it's George R.R. Martin. I'll just look him up real quick.
Yeah, it's tough. TUF.
That. Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. My goodness. I can't believe that. I did not recognize that. I'm just going to recommend Hardwired again. Remember Hardwired, the thing that Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to be based on? Mm-hmm. That was a good cyberpunk book before cyberpunk was popular. But you, Andrew?
I'm trying to think, honestly.
He's going to recommend Eragon by Chris Palini.
I enjoyed that series.
That I didn't hate. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that series.
It was Star Wars meets,
There's no
Lord
Star Wars in it. What are you talking about?
I guess like the whole premise of the book is
I enjoyed
their Star Wars.
Okay, you can't. Come on.
The whole premise of the book. The whole premise of the first book was Star Wars.
No, you can't.
Jeez.
You can't do this because, let's be honest, Star Wars did not invent that trope.
No, they didn't. I mean, they even talk about the whole point of this. The handing down the lightsaber is Excalibur. That's the whole point.
Yeah. You can't say, okay, I don't want to be that guy, but fine, let's go there. It's the most recent story that was written that's like actually unique story-wise and creative is probably Lord of the Rings. That's not like, and even Lord of the Rings is based heavily on like concepts from even the Bible and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say that one story is just a remake, like taking too much from another story when that story itself takes so much from others.
Yep.
I don't think that's a legitimate complaint when.
Okay, fine. All right.
You can't like.
You win.
Oh,
Just tell me what you want to recommend so we can get off this
Fine.
podcast.
fine. I recommend. It's gonna be educational. So, the Bitcoin Standard. Read it. Have
The
fun.
Bitcoin Standard?
Yeah,
I definitely
read
haven't
it.
read that.
Have
All right,
fun.
fine. Let's
Because it is it's actually not as much about Bitcoin as one would think. It's about the history of. It's about kind of more about the history of money. So.
Mine's more interesting. The book is
explain to
about
me.
a
Yours
guy
is
who.
more interesting, but I was more just trying to come up with something at the moment.
Yeah, I
and,
can't find it. We'll just trust you it exists.
Um,
Okay, just for fun, Will, I don't read comics, so have you read Slane comics?
I have not. I am reading the Spider-Man comics, the new ones, though.
Okay. Just want to get that out there since S.A.'s asked and he's been here this whole time. We definitely need to keep on supporting our viewers.
Mm-hmm. I'll look into it, though.
Actually, a good book, if you haven't read it, is The Demon King, a Seven Realms novel. It's actually like a trilogy, I think. I thought it was interesting. I haven't read it in forever, though.
I'll reach into the well of books I've read. There's a bunch of books by John Marco. We talked about this forever ago on the podcast, but I'll look. John Marco, Eyes
So,
of God.
Why are you searching Wikipedia for this instead of Google? No wonder you're not finding shit, Chris.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Yeah, Eyes of God. So the Bronze Knight series. Look them up. They're good books. They're really good. He spent a long time writing an extra book to this series that was actually really well written called The Forever Knight. I really enjoyed it. It's very unique. It's not Lord of the Rings, not Harry Potter. It's very much his own thing.
People say Harry Potter's not unique.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying it's its own unique thing. Like there's no tie into another universe with these books.
I'm being snarky.
I definitely read them when I was too young to read them, but they're good books. There's a lot of inappropriate
Chris
things
read
for children.
these this week, so.
Well, I recommend Game of Thrones, so the Saga of Fire and Ice as a children's book.
It's the song.
So, I'm sorry, the song. I recommend the Song of Fire and Ice as a children's book, bedtime stories. So.
I think we screwed it up. I think it's the Song of Ice and Fire.
It is the
Song of Fire and Ice. We're talking about.
Oh my gosh!
It's late, man. I'm tight. I'm
we should.
Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, it's a children's book. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Oh my gosh. Whatever, guys. Okay.
And the TV series is rated M for more, not any.
It's family friendly.
Oh gosh.
Good for all ages.
It's not even rated M. It's rated like adult, I think.
Definitely watch it.
It's rated M for meek, mild,
mild and
more.
Mild mannered.
Mild and more.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, before this takes the wrong turn down memory lane of watching that terrible show, let's end this podcast better than they ended the show, because anything is better than the way Game of Thrones ended. So, as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And there's a cat.
You said end it better than the show, so I showed a cat.
Game of Thrones would have been better if they would have zoomed out and just showed a bunch of cats taking over the entire land. That would have been a great ending. And we will see you
on next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.
We need to add another part to that for Andrew to say after that. Why don't you say on the next CHRILLCAST and Andrew says, bye, guys.
Okay.
All right, let's try this again. We'll end this the right way.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay? As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Andrew.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.
Bye, guys.
Every time we say bye, guys, I think 5 Guys Burgers and